Good evening, Doc V. This is my final exam in human behavior in an organization. My case study number 1, which is the communication breakdown. The problem is during a marketing campaign, the manager gave vague instructions like make it appealing. The team produced inconsistent materials confusing the client. The client complained about lack of professionalism and the school's reputation was affected. So question number 1, what went wrong in the communication process? The manager's ambiguous and insufficient direction was the primary issue. The phrase make it appealing is too generic because various people have varied definitions of what appealing is. Each team member had a different interpretation of the assignment because they were not given clear instructions or expectations. Consequently, the client was perplexed by the conflicting marketing materials, which also make the school an unprofessional appeal. Next, question number 2. How could SMART objectives improve clarity? So the instruction would be considerably clearer and simpler to follow if SMART objectives were used, rather than just saying make it appealing. The management might outline the precise design, style, target market, time frame, and desired results. Everyone can better grasp what has to be done when there are clear, quantifiable, and reasonable goals in place. This reduces misunderstanding and guarantees that the finished product are consistent and satisfy the client expectations. Question number 3. What role does feedback play in preventing errors? This keeps the professional reputation intact while preventing errors, enhancing the quality of the finished product, and guaranteeing this keeps the professional reputation intact while preventing errors, enhancing the quality of the finished product, and guaranteeing that the client's expectations are fulfilled. Okay, so identification of the problem behavior. Inadequate communication was the primary issue. The squad moved forward without asking for clarification because the manager did not give clear and comprehensive instructions. Misunderstanding and inconsistent work were the outcome of this. So, to connect to the organizational behavior theory or model, this circumstance emphasizes how crucial good communication is to a company. Employees may perceive activities differently when expectations are unclear, which can result in errors, decrease of productivity, and poor cooperation. To make sure that everyone is working toward the same objective, clear communication is crucial. So what specific corrective action or actions should be done? The manager should give precise directions that include goals, due dates, and anticipated results. Expectations can be more easily understood by using SMART objectives. When instructions are unclear, team members should be encouraged to raise questions before the final product is turned in. Regular progress meeting and feedback sessions can assist spot issues early and make sure everyone is on the same page. So for case number 2, that is for stress management. Lisa's team had been working overtime for weeks. To meet deadlines, several members showed signs of burnout, absenteeism, irritability, and declining performance. One employee even resigned unexpectedly. So for question number 1, what signs of burnout are evident in this case? The circumstance exhibits a number of burnout symptoms. Members of the team began to perform worse They were frequently absent from work and became easily agitated. These are typical signs that workers are mentally and physically worn out. One employee's abrupt resignation also raises the possibility that the tension was too much to handle. Question number 2. How can managers balance productivity with employee well-being? By establishing reasonable deadlines, allocating work equitably, and promoting frequent breaks, managers can preserve productivity while safeguarding the health of their staff. In order to learn how team members are handling their workload, they should also follow up with them. Employees are more driven and productive without compromising their health when they feel appreciated and supported. For question number 3, what organizational policies could prevent stress overload? By putting in place rules that support work-life balance, organizations can lessen workplace stress, limiting excessive overtime, giving flexible work schedules where feasible, offering mental health and wellness programs, encouraging employees to use their leave credits, and routinely assessing workloads to make sure they are manageable are a few examples. These regulations support workers' health issues and produce productivity. So to identify the problem behavior, employee burnout brought on by ongoing stress at work is the primary problematic behavior. Employee attendance, attitude, and performance were all impacted by the overwhelming workload, which ultimately resulted in one employee quitting the company due to physical and mental exhaustion. So to connect it to OB theory or model, according to the job demands resources model, employees are more likely to burn out when job demands, such as demanding workloads and lengthy workdays, are continuously greater than available resources, such as time, support, and relaxation. Giving workers adequate resources and assistance keeps them motivated and improves performance. So what specific corrective action or actions should be done? Supervisors should keep an eye on workers' workloads and refrain from giving them excessive overtime for extended periods of time. It is important to assign tasks equitably and set reasonable time frames. Employee stress management can be aided by regular check-ins, wellness initiatives, and mental health support. Promoting work-life balance, rewarding people for their efforts, and encouraging breaks can also boost morale, lessen burnout, and boost long-term productivity. So for case study number 3, conflict of interest. A supervisor promoted his cousin despite other employees being more qualified. Staff morale dropped, and rumors of favoritism spread. Some employees began looking for jobs elsewhere. Question number 1. What organizational values are violated in this case? Important organizational ideals, including responsibility, transparency, fairness, and integrity, are violated by this circumstance. Promotions ought to be determined by an employee's performance, credentials, and abilities rather than by personal connections. Giving preference to a family member over more worthy workers gives the perception that the company does not respect equal opportunity or merit. Question number 2. How does favoritism affect morale and performance? Both employee morale and organizational performance may suffer as a result of favoritism. Workers may become demotivated and lose faith in management if they believe that their efforts and commitment are not valued. Over time, this may lead to lower output, more friction at work, and an increase in turnover as skilled workers are encouraged to look for opportunities elsewhere. Question number 3. What policies ensure fairness and transparency in promotions? By establishing explicit promotion procedures based on merit and unquantifiable performance standards, organizations can advance fairness. All employees can be treated equally with the support of conflict of interest policies, promotion committees rather than individual decision makers, standardized evaluation procedures, and open communication on promotion choices. Accountability can also be stressed out through routine audits of hiring procedures. Identify the problem behavior. Favoritism and abuse of power are the primary problematic behaviors. Employee faith in management was diminished and unfair promotion process resulted from the supervisor's allowance of a personal relationship to affect a professional decision. Connect to OB theory or model. According to organizational justice theory, workers assess the fairness and transparency of the decision-making process in addition to the decision's results. Employees frequently report lower job satisfaction, less motivation, diminished organizational loyalty, and a higher intention to leave the company when promotions are seen as unjust. So what specific corrective action or action should be taken? The company should set up merit-based promotion guidelines with precise requirements and impartial assessment standards. It should be mandatory for supervisors to declare any conflicts of interest and refrain from taking part in decisions about promotions involving family members or close colleagues. To reduce prejudice committees or promotion, panels should evaluate applicants. Additionally, management should give staff input on how they can eligible for future progress and transparency disclosure decisions on promotions. Fairness and employee trust can be further strengthened through ethics training and ongoing oversight of promotion procedures. That's all for my final exam. Thank you po.